This guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry.
All of you chumps are gonna bow. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Money.
You're listening to The Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB. If you'd like to contact Mr. Credit, visit mrcredit.org.
All right, welcome to The Real Estate Debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Today is a very special show. I have a very special co-host, at least for the first segment. Nicole Hazelton is on mic 4. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks
How
for
do you
having
feel
me.
being in the co-host position right now?
I like it.
Yeah.
I feel pretty empowered.
You do? You're also a competitor today.
Yes.
Our judge is on the way. He's in the car. Sean Cahan with Cornerstone Mortgage Group is on the way. He'll be here shortly. I'll be judging the first segment of Rapid Fire. We have a great show lined up for you today. If one first-timer and 3 past champions, that first-timer in seat number 1 is Frederick Rimmick with San Diego Realty Brokers. Frederick, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, Derek. How are you?
Great to have you on the show. Now, you've been on the show before, but not the debate format.
Correct.
How do you feel going up against 3 past champs?
I think I'm very intimidated.
Yeah?
Yes.
You think so, or are you sure of it
Yeah,
at this point?
I'm pretty sure I'm intimidated.
Now, you have a really cool website, Chula Vista Homes for Sale.house, which I haven't seen a .house before, but you guys specialize down there in Chula Vista. You've got a cool website for people who are searching for homes down there.
Correct. Yep. It's inclusive of the whole South Bay. Lots of detail. Get information about schools there. We have a widget from Great Schools on the site.
Cool.
There's a seller's area where you can get your estimate on the property value. So, yeah, it's a full-service website.
Awesome stuff. Frederick, thank you so much for coming today. And good luck, sir, as we haven't had a first-timer win on the show in a very, very long time. So you could be the guy, but it's going to be tough because you'll be up against the man in seat number 2 who is one of the most winningest champions of all time. Brian DeVore, 7-time real estate debate champion, is here with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. California Properties. Have to take a breath on that one, Brian.
Yep.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Grateful as always to be here.
Yes, and you'll also be featured on our new television show, which starts in August on Channel 4, Sundays at 11 a.m., as our featured Carlsbad real estate expert.
I am super excited about that. I think it's just another way to, as you say, make your audience smarter than everybody else and educate them on what's happening in the world of real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. And in these different communities where there's so much going on in San Diego, and we're so busy, we don't know about it, a lot of it. So it's great to have someone like you who's embedded in the community to be able to come on and tell people about it. So, Brian, today you have a chance to surpass your arch nemesis, Elizabeth Story, who also has 7 trophies.
Yes.
Including the first ever Tournament of Multi-Champions trophy.
Right.
How do you feel about your chances today to be the first person to 8?
When I saw the lineup of who is going to be competing today, I was a little nervous. Just like my competitor to my left. I'm still a little nervous. I mean, these guys are great, you know. So I got my work cut out for me.
That's right.
As always.
As always. It's not easy to win the show. Winning 7 times really says a lot. Good luck to you today, sir.
Thank you.
And in seat number 3, Billy Colstock is back, a multi-time champion on the real estate debate with 2 titles to his name from Keller Williams La Jolla and SoCalLifestyleRealty.com. Billy, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Now, you'll also be featured on our new television show, Smarter San Diego, airing on Channel 4 Sundays at 11 in August. And you'll be covering the Del Cerro area, which is your backyard.
Right. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything that we're going to hear about Del Cerro today, or you don't want to let anything out of the bag?
Oh, I don't want to let anything out of the bag with this group right here. No. I actually am already starting to peek at the numbers right over here. I heard about the numbers.
You're looking at DeVore's notes?
I am. I'm trying to cheat a little bit.
Now, very few people have won more than 3 titles.
Sure.
In fact, there's only 3 people who've ever done it. So today you could become the 4th. How do you feel about your chances?
Like everyone else, my heart's racing a little bit right now.
Yeah.
So palms are sweaty. So here we go.
Well, I'm judging the first
Good
segment.
opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. Great to have you here, Billy. And in seat number 4, my aforementioned co-host, as we're waiting for Sean Cahan to arrive, is actually a buddy of Sean Cahan's. Nicole Hazelton is here. How are you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing well, thanks.
From Hazelton Associates, of course, and yoursdhome.com. Now, Nicole will also be featured on our television show, Smarter San Diego, starting in August on Channel 4 Sundays at 11. And she's also a past champion on the real estate debate. Nicole, it's great to have you.
Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you as always. And today you have a chance to become one of only a handful of people who've ever won this show more than one time. How do you feel about your chances?
I'm nervous as well.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm anxious and nervous to get started.
All right. Well, I think it's time to do it. Let's get started. It's time for Rapid Fire.
Let's go around the table for rapid fire.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
Keep it short and keep it on point.
1, 2, 10.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
All right. We'll be starting with Frederick Remick. Today's rapid fire topic is, quote, reasons that rising interest rates will or will not hurt the San Diego real estate market. Frederick.
Well, first of all, hurt is a word that is subjective. Is it going to have an effect on buyers? Yes, because buyers will be able to afford less, and it will also create less buyers at certain price points because you're going to drive buyers out of those price points.
Sure.
So that's automatic. Now, will it hurt our market? I don't believe it will hurt the market until the ratio of buyers to sellers is more equitable, or the buyers are less in ratio to the sellers. Right now, there's so many buyers for each home that's going to take a long time for that to catch up.
Good points. Brian DeVore.
So to Frederick's point, talking about if rates go up, what we'll do with driving buyers out. And I got an interesting chart here, which I can provide your listeners if they'd like. If you take a $500,000 home and you increase the interest rate by just a quarter point, it reduces your purchasing power by 2.9%, down to $485,554. So to put numbers to it, if rates go up even a quarter point, it's going to drop people down on what they can afford, and it's going to make some people not be able to buy.
Okay. Yep. No question. Billy Colstock.
Right now, San Diego is at a 28%, based on quarter one, 28% affordability index. We've been at a 25, 26% affordability index in the past. So we have some room to wiggle on that. So as a San Diego market will be affected, not as much.
Okay. Great stats from Billy Colstock. Nicole Hazelton.
I'm saying that it won't be affected as well. I think that rates are still at an all-time low compared to all-time averages. And even if the mortgage rates go up by half a point on the median price in San Diego of $400,000, you're looking at about $120 a month. So the compromise is no Starbucks in the morning.
But can they give it up? That's the question.
I got a problem with that.
Starbucks. Well, I think
going to challenge that.
That comes back into the ratio, which I talked about, which is, yes, it's going to drop. The rates will go up. That means there's less people, but you got to look at it like, okay, instead of 10 people being able to afford this house, now there's 6.
Right.
So does that really affect the market? No, it just affects the buyer's ability to buy at a certain price point.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That's absolutely true. And what we're discussing today's rapid fire topic is reasons rising interest rates, should they come, will or will not hurt the San Diego real estate market, Mr. DeVore?
I think it won't in this respect, that if interest rates go up, then likely what usually happens is prices either come down or the price appreciation tempers a little bit. So there's a balancing act, and then I think we may wind up being sort of in the same spot as where we are today.
Okay, so it could just level things off. Makes sense. Billy Colstock.
So I don't think that it's going to affect things because we've learned over the last couple of years, hopefully, that we need to be a little bit more conservative. Homeowners are going to be putting down more money from their sale, from the equity. Therefore, they're going to be getting the right payment.
Okay, so it's payment based. So if you got more money down, rates go up.
You're going to get to that payment that you're looking for.
It's all about payment. Makes sense to me. Nicole Hazelton.
I also say again that it won't. Forbes.com put out a great article about this, basically saying that prospective buyers are going to come out of the woodwork while the economy is hot because they're going to be afraid that their affordability opportunity is fleeting. So I think that when rates increase, you'll see actually a higher level of buyers.
Interesting. She went the other direction with it. I'm going to give you a bonus point because that, if you go back and look, you'll actually see that frenzies do take place in refinancing and home purchases when people first hear that rates are gone up. Because everyone is like waiting around for them to keep going lower until they're not going lower anymore, and then that actually sparks things. Really, really good point from Nicole. All right, coming up, that's it for Rapid Fire. When we come back, we'll find out what markets are hot and not so hot. What about your neighborhood? Stick around. We'll continue to make you smarter than everyone else right here on the Real Estate Debate, AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
All right, welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us on your Sunday afternoon. Mr. Credit here. You're listening to the Real Estate Debate, where we're debating the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Let's go over the scores real quick before we head into hot or not so hot. Frederick Remick, 4 points. Brian DeVore, 4 points. Billy Colstock, 4 points. Nicole Hazelton, 4 points. We have a dead heat. One segment through. Our co-host today, Sean Cahan, is stuck in traffic. Hopefully he's okay with Cornerstone Mortgage Group. We really appreciate his time in the studio. Now I'm getting to judge. It's like the old days.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a challenge for me, but I look forward to your answers as we begin hot or not so hot.
Time now for hot or not so hot.
So hot right now.
Let's find out if your neighborhood is heating up
It's hot.
or if your district is on the decline.
I am completely miserable, San Diego.
Mr. DeVore,
Yes, sir.
you are leading off hot or not so hot. Do you have a hot market or not so hot market?
I have a hot market and a hotter market.
Okay.
And actually, they're both in Carlsbad.
Imagine that.
Just different segments of that. But I'm getting your audience ready for the TV show.
Okay, perfect.
Teasing for more to come.
All right.
So what I did was I actually parsed out the up to $500,000 price point in Carlsbad and then $1 million plus.
Interesting.
Because I wanted to kind of see which one was hot and which one was not hot. And I was surprised by what I found. So first of all, how do we define hot? I think you define it a few different ways. Sales volume, market time, our prices going up, our prices going down, what supply versus demand, et cetera. So if we take a look at first, the hot market is the under 500,000.
Okay.
From December through March, from December of last year to March of this year, there were 93 total sales with 46 days on market as the average. From March to now, 134 sales, 37 days on market. Now, some of that is cyclical, right? Because we have the winter months are usually slower, but still a 44% increase in sales. Prices during that initial period, 396,000 was the average purchase price or sales price. March to now, 409, so up 3.2%.
Nice.
Supply versus demand. Right now, there's 67 homes on the market, 54 in escrow. Pretty good ratio, balance of almost 1-to-1. And what's interesting though is the pending average price is 428. It's almost $20,000 more than the average of the sales prices.
Wow.
So the pendings are higher than the solds. That's a good predictor of what prices are going to be. The reason why the over million is hotter is because in that December to March period, there were 48 sales, 54 days on market. March to now, 89 sales.
Holy smokes.
They've actually doubled. Like, how people are getting rich. That's fantastic. I love
must
it.
Be.
And the market time is down. And then our prices going up or down. Prices went from $1.3 million to $1.357 million.
Okay.
So prices are up. And supply versus demand, 127 actives, 61 pendings, pretty good ratio of 2-to-1. And the homes that are in escrow, it's about $20,000 more for the list price versus the sales price over the last few months.
Wow.
So that begs the question, what about $500,000 to $1 million? Give me a call, and I'd be happy to discuss that with your listeners, and I can tell them all about that market.
Okay. How can they reach you?
760-908-3838.
Or online?
www.thedevores.com.
There it is, thedevores.com. Great information about the Carlsbad Marketplace. You can see why I want this guy on my TV show. That's Brian DeVore with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties, telling us about the hot market in Carlsbad under 500K and the hotter market over $1 million. But you got to call him to get 500K to $1 million.
That's right.
You want to find out the middle, the sandwich area, which I'm sure there's interesting information there. Billy Colstock, hot or not so hot market?
Perfect. So Brian alluded to it. There's really nothing in San Diego right now that's not hot. You know, the market is moving, but there's an area that I'm really surprised about. I'm gonna look at City Heights right now.
Okay.
Not so hot.
Really?
Okay. If you can think about it, City Heights, you've got a median sales price right now of $242,000. Right. Where in San Diego can you find that?
Seriously?
The middle. Okay. It's in the middle of San Diego.
Yeah.
And I mean, the sales prices are they're still at 242, right? So in the last 15 years, I saw this stat this morning. I thought it was amazing. $265 million has gone into this area. Restaurants, schools, parks, various different community features. And the area still has not come up. We have half the national average for median income. Okay, fifth graders are still, it's at 60% of fifth graders are obese, right? The money's just not working in this area. If you look at April 2012, the median sale price was $210, right? today in March 2015 is 242. That's a 14% increase in values. I mean, obviously it's an increase in values, but if you take North Park, right beside it,
Right.
okay,
Jason, yeah.
38% same time frame.
Crazy. So that's kind of sounds like an opportunity then.
Opportunity, but yet the crime rate is such. I mean, it's double
Is it?
in City Heights. That's one of the biggest contributors to the market not going up. People might get a great buy, but at the same time, you can't rent it. You can't. You don't want to bring your family there.
Gotcha.
So not so hot.
Not so hot market. Great stuff from Billy Colstock. Fantastic information and research from Billy Colstock, Keller Williams, La Jolla, and SoCal Lifestyle Realty.com. I don't know if he has a nugget for you that he left out just in case you want to call him or not, but you can find him online at SoCal Lifestyle Realty.com.
Please. I didn't pitch that one quite as well.
Obviously not City Heights.
Right, not City Heights. Nicole Hazelton, do you have a hot or not so hot market for us?
I have a hot market.
Okay.
Who doesn't love Little Italy? And I'm not going to say Little Italy in downtown San Diego because people that live in Little Italy, it is not downtown.
It's really
It
not.
is specifically Little Italy. From all of the development that's happening there, Bosa just announced that he is developing his parcel just behind Bayside at the corner of Kettner and Ash. So that'll probably break ground in the next couple of years. We'll have another luxury tower in Little Italy.
Wow.
And the buildings are just affordable. And I know we talk a lot about affordability on this show. The median price point last year in Little Italy was $397,500. Year to date, it's $429,750. So prices are steadily climbing. There's about 30 active properties on the market, 12 sold in the last month. So you have a little over 2 months of inventory available. But you can get into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, about 700 square feet for right around $300,000. A 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and some of the buildings like Aqua Vista, which has great amenities, a pool, valet parking, for right around the median price point in San Diego, $450,000. So it's a very affordable place to live in downtown San Diego. There's a great website, littleItalySD.com. They talk about all of the happenings in Little Italy. They're doing movie screening at the Waterfront Park, which is just a block away. You have the Embarcadero. You can have a glass of wine at Kettner Exchange. Happy hour oysters at Ironside, and then all of the amazing staples of Little Italy like Sogno Divino and Buon Appetito and my favorite places. So
Yeah.
I think Little Italy is a hot market. Prices are climbing. It's affordable. It's a great way to get into the area of downtown San Diego.
It's also close proximity to the airport.
I was just going to say that
If
too.
if you fly a lot, it's really easy to get to the airport,
Absolutely.
get in and out of there.
Absolutely.
A short
Not gonna
Uber
walk.
ride away. Or, yeah, you could jog with your luggage if you're like, want to get a workout, too. Great stuff from Nicole Hazelton. YourSDHome.com is her website, talking about Little Italy being a hot market and yet still affordable. Which is pretty interesting, actually, because I would have thought the median price there was much higher. If you had asked me, I would have said $650, $700. That's the feel, but it's actually much more affordable than that. Great stuff. Frederick Remick, you have a hot or not so hot market?
Well, I'm going to give you both.
Okay.
How about that?
I would like that.
I disagree, and I think there is a not so hot market in San Diego. But this is what it's based on. It's based on demographics, buyers' demographics. Entry-level properties all over San Diego are going through the roof. Depreciation at the lower end is being driven up by a pool of buyers that want to get in with FHA, VA. Okay. Now, I'm going to look at Del Mar, one of your favorites.
Yeah.
Okay. So Del Mar right now is not so hot market. Okay.
Right.
Single family dwellings. We've got 50. Actually, I take it back. We have 74 on the market right now. Okay. Out of those 74, there are only 18 that are pending. So that tells me that 24% of the market is pending, which means that 76% of the market is still active. Our average market time there is 57 days and counting.
Right.
Now, let's look at the hot market, which is an entry-level area, San Carlos, 92119, which is near your area of Del Cerro there. So San Carlos has 69 single-family dwellings on the market right now. 36 are in escrow. That means that 52% of the market has been absorbed by buyers because it's affordable. And this is pervasive all over the county. When you look at high-end areas, they're just not moving as fast as low-end areas. And I think what's happening that I'm seeing down in South County is that entry-level properties are probably going up in the last year. Personally, what I've seen in the trenches, it's nice to look at statistics and read stuff, but this is all old. But what's happening in the trenches right now is things are going up like incrementally $5,000 at a time. So it's a $350,000 condo becomes a $370 condo. 2 months later, it's $375. And I mean, that's the kind of market we're in right now at the bottom end.
Very interesting. So prices are just steadily climbing pretty much across the board.
Demographically, at the bottom end,
at the low end,
they're climbing.
But
you
across
look,
the county.
Yeah, but you look at an area like Del Mar, we're looking at the high end, a median price point of $1.4 million. It's sitting.
That would kind of beg the question: Does the big money? No, I have a challenge. Hold on a second.
You gonna challenge me on Del Mar?
Brian DeVore has challenged Frederick Remick. Brian DeVore, you have 30 seconds to make your case.
Well, I just want to challenge the statement that he made that in general across the county that the high end isn't really moving or isn't really appreciating, simply because of the stats I gave about Carlsbad. If you look at over $1 million, which I think is somewhat high end. I mean, it's not high end in La Jolla, but it's still higher end. Sales are climbing tremendously, exponentially, and prices are going up. So I don't think you can make the blanket statement that across the county the high end homes are not moving or not appreciating.
Okay. Frederick?
That's not exactly what I said. What I said was it's pervasive at the low end all over the county. If you're an entry-level buyer, those properties are going up and are appreciating fast. I said that Del Mar specifically is not a hot market because of the statistics that I gave you. I wasn't saying that all high-end markets are not appreciating and they're not hot.
Okay.
This one happens to be not hot, but I can tell you that every single entry-level demographic all over the county is hot. And that's what I'll stand by.
That's what I thought you meant.
That is.
Did you misunderstand him?
I thought he said that Del Mar was an example of across the county that the high end isn't moving. I thought he said. I
think you misunderstood what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I said.
No worries. Yeah, you misunderstood. No big deal.
No problem.
Okay, cool, great stuff. All right, man. Wow, this is going to be good. I can feel it. I can feel it ratcheting up here as we're heading into agree or disagree. Stick around. We'll continue to make you smarter than everyone else right here on AM 760 KFMB. You're listening to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit. We will be right back.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us on your Sunday afternoon. Mr. Credit here, your host. You're listening to The Real Estate Debate. You can see all the past episodes and find out more at therealestatedebate.com. I'm actually judging today as well, which I haven't done for quite some time. I feel like it's been a year or more since I've actually judged one of these shows. So far, Frederick Remick has 8 points. Brian DeVore has 9 points. Billy Colstock has 8 points. And Nicole Hazelton has 8 points. So it's still anybody's game. But the mega champ has a slight lead on everyone as we head into what is sure to be a very interesting agree or disagree.
Time now for agree or disagree.
Can't we just settle this over a pint?
Agree
Yes! Yes!
or disagree.
To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Let's get it on!
All right, Billy Colstock, you'll be leading off this segment. And you'll tell us whether you agree or disagree with the given statement, and, of course, defend your position. According to Zillow, in an article published by the San Diego Union-Tribune, there are still almost 40,000 San Diego homeowners underwater on their homes, meaning that they owe more than what the home is worth, even after we've seen tremendous price gains in home values over the past several years. So today's statement, to agree or disagree with, is, quote, these underwater homeowners are the elephant in the room of today's real estate market. Until these situations are back to a normal level, which is half of where we are now, the market will be vulnerable to another significant downturn. Agree or disagree, Billy Colstock?
So I disagree, specifically because of the word significant.
Okay.
Okay, and then also let's look at what 40,000 people in San Diego represent. Okay, that's 3% of the population, right? Now, if it's not, even if we get to a number of it's 15% of the homeowners in San Diego, it's still 85% of the people are above water. Okay, so if you look at it differently, I just feel like the article is trying to I read the article, it's a great article, but it's pushing people towards something negative versus looking at what the reality is going on in the market. We've got 85% of the people who are able to move, and they are. Okay, people are moving right now. We've alluded to the fact that the market is hot right now. We've got 6,900 homes on the market right now, and we're churning through our inventory, right? So we're also looking at HAMP programs that are helping those people who are the 40,000 that are upside down or still don't owe quite as much as what the house is worth. They're looking at remodifying those loans, and they're keeping the people inside their homes longer. So while they're inside the homes longer, they're not coming out on the market, right? When they're not coming out on the market, we're keeping our inventory low.
Gotcha.
With keeping our inventory low, then we're not going to see a significant decrease in our market based on these 40,000 people. Wow. We're going to see a significant decrease in our market for other economic factors. Job loss, job gain, strength of the dollar, various different other factors, not these 40,000 people.
Very, very well said. You need to save this clip and put it all over your website. That was extremely well explained from Billy Colstock, telling us why these 40,000 homeowners are upside down. While that may not be great, there are things available to them, and they aren't going to cause any problems in the marketplace. Nicole Hazelton, do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay.
I believe that a homeowner's not underwater until they try to refinance or they try to sell their property. So I think we have to look at attitude and delinquency rates and the number of the 40,000 households that are quote unquote underwater in San Diego. So our economic outlook in San Diego is positive. We have a lot of development and construction happening. Jobs are on the rise. Taxable sales are up. Population is high. And as far as delinquency, TransUnion released an article about 2015, and they've said that it's the lowest since recession. Their outlook for the forecast for 2015 is that it'll only be 2.5%. So I haven't seen any new articles about delinquency on the rise in the last year.
Yeah.
We're 6 years from the trough, and in the past 3 years, the article stated that the number of underwater homeowners has been reduced from 165,000 to 40,000. So in 3 years, we've given 125,000 homeowners equity, and that gives them a positive attitude. It gives me a positive attitude because I'm one of those quote unquote underwater homeowners. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking at the market outlook and I'm saying it's worth it for me to just stay in my home and not be part of that buying population right now, because in a couple more years, I'll probably be one of the ones that is finally having a little bit of equity. Also, the article references that 5% is a normal rate for underwater homeowners, and right now we're at 8.6%. I think looking at Zillow's numbers of 40,000, we have to look at how much of a military population we have in San Diego. The second a VA loan is closed, a home buyer is underwater, quote unquote, because their funding fee is added to their 100% of their loan balance.
True with FHA too, by the way.
Right, exactly. So how many of those 40,000 people have just recently closed, and technically on paper, they're quote unquote underwater, their home is less than what they currently owe. And the article also mentioned that those 40,000 people aren't going to be releasing enough inventory, but we have to look at the 209,000 sales that occurred in the trough of the market from 2009 to 2013. Those home buyers that put down a down payment, that financed with a 30-year fixed, that have equity and appreciation from the trough of the market are going to be releasing some of their inventory as they move up in the market. So I don't think there's anything we have to worry about. I don't think underwater homeowners are going to create any vulnerability for our market.
Wow, you crushed that segment. I'm glad that I'm not Frederick Remick right now. But maybe you'll surprise me and you'll
I'm still last.
You still have
he
to
may
go.
add some more good nuggets.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not you, actually.
Thank you.
Hey, I may.
Because Billy crushed it. Nicole just hit a grand slam. Frederick, do you agree or disagree that these underwater homeowners, according to Zillow, there's 40,000 in San Diego, which is double what a normal market would be, are the elephant in the room and could make the market vulnerable to another significant downturn?
I disagree as well.
Okay.
But let's look at a couple things here. First of all, before we start analyzing an article, what is it based on? It's based on a foundation which is flawed. Okay. Zillow has been proven, 2 articles here, one by the LA Times, one by the Washington Post.
I'll give you a point for each one.
Are completely inaccurate. They've been proven to be inaccurate. The algorithms that they use are inaccurate. I called Zillow and asked them where their study came from. They use their algorithm. So I'll give you an example. City Heights is right next door to North Park. Let's say the 805 separates it. Mm-hmm. Let's just use that, okay? They're going to draw a radius. All of a sudden, you live in City Heights, and it says your place is worth $400,000. Wow. That's awesome. So the point is that the whole study's flawed to begin with. So really what we're talking about is the city vulnerable to a downturn because of people being underwater? I would agree with everybody else that it's highly unlikely. Like I said, I don't think those numbers are even accurate, but let's say if they are, we can look at some statistics which are almost all those buyers that we're talking about bought from 2004 to 2006. That means that they've been able to maintain their household for 11 to 9 years, or 9 to 11 years, right? So what's going to make them all of a sudden, after all the stability of 9 to 11 years in which they've probably paid, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, they're just going to say, well, we can't do it anymore. That's just not logical. The other thing, too, is that we're at a point in the market where most areas are at 90 to 95% of value from the peak in 2005. So there's very little inventory out there, in my opinion, that is truly, quote-unquote, underwater. And it doesn't create enough of a bubble where if that were to burst, in other words, those people were to come out into the marketplace, where it's going to dilute everything. I just don't see it happening.
Okay. Yeah. Great stuff there. And basically you're saying, hey, the data's wrong. It's been proven to be wrong, so we shouldn't even pay attention to this.
Like, what do they say? Zillow's inaccurate 20%, 60% of the time.
I like that.
Mr. DeVore, are you ready for agreeing or disagreeing with this statement?
They all made really good points because I had them all ready to go. So I do disagree, but I'll actually, at the end, I'll have a caveat to disagreeing. Okay, the one potential issue. So I want to clarify one thing, and you do a very good job of wording these questions, because the article talks about the economy, and is the economy going to suffer because of the underwater homeowners? Your question was specifically, will it affect the market?
Right.
It could affect the economy. I don't think it's going to affect the market. Okay. Now, one of the things that Frederick talked about is you start with the fact that it's based on estimates, right? So there's two factors. There's how much they owe and how much it's worth. This one's easy to get. This one, it's based on their formula, and we all know how inaccurate it is. However, CoreLogic just came out with their equity report for the first quarter, and CoreLogic is pretty accurate with a lot of the things that they do, and they have a valuation model as well. And I can send your listeners the full report, and it says 7.7% are underwater. So it's about the same as what Zillow says. But what it also said is 14.3% have less than 80% equity. Okay, that means that 85.7% have a lot of equity out of 584 total loans. We're talking a blip in the market. The other thing I know, Nicole brought this up, is underwater homeowners in themselves aren't going to cause a downturn. And actually, Billy had mentioned as well, there's a lot of other factors as well. But just because underwater doesn't mean they have to sell. It just means that they happen to be underwater. It's on paper. It's like a stock. You're not losing money in a stock until you sell it. We're also not going to see, even if all those people had to foreclose over the next however many period of time, it's not likely to happen because people foreclosed on their homes or lost their homes, not just because they were underwater, but also because they lost their jobs. And they're not losing their jobs right now. So we're not going to see those homes coming on the market.
Very good point.
We also have to look at what is the direction and the velocity of the return to normalcy. Okay, so the article talks about 125,000 people have been lifted into positive equity. Normal is 5%. Normal, whatever that means. Or 23,000 homes, okay? Right now, we're at 39,812 homeowners are underwater, okay? So it was really a difference of 17,000 between where we're at now and normal going to make a big difference? I really don't think so. Here's the worrisome note. I don't know about worrisome. One thing in the Zillow report, and there's another report I saw in addition to that article that you sent out. This is nationwide now. 25% of those people who own the least affordable third of the homes, so the lowest priced homes, were upside down compared to 8% of the most valuable third. So it seems like the majority of the underwater homeowners are in the lower price category. That could potentially stifle supply for the demand that we do have. So that's the one thing we have to keep our eye on is, are we going to not see enough supply pumped into the market because of those people? And there was another article I read as well, in addition to all these, that talked about how the majority of the people who are underwater right now, at least nationwide, they're so far underwater that it's going to take years for them to get out. So it's not like they're this close. So they may just stay put and hang tight. And those properties won't come on the market for probably at least 3-4 years if they get back to that point.
Wow, this is a guy who said he didn't have time to prepare for today's show. He was complaining to me, I don't have time to do any research. Bunch of guys. Wow, you all did so amazing in that particular segment. I learned a ton about the market. And you're right, as far as wording of the question is concerned, what I was asking was, will it be vulnerable to another significant downturn? I think that was answered very well by all four of you. All right, coming up, it's time for the win. Who will walk away with the Golden Microphone Trophy today? Will it be Frederick Remick on his first appearance on the Real Estate Debate? Will it be Brian DeVore getting his 8th trophy and surpassing Elizabeth Story for the most in all time? Or will it be Billy Colstock getting his 3rd, one of only a few people who've done that? Or Nicole Hazelton getting her 2nd, one of only a handful of people to win more than once on the show? Stick around. We'll continue to make you smarter than everyone else.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Debate with Mr. Credit on AM 760 KFMB.
That's my kind of music right there. Welcome back. Thank you for hanging out with us on your Sunday afternoon. Mr. Credit here. Quick update on the scores as we head into the final segment of the Real Estate Debate. Frederick Remick with San Diego Realty Brokers has 12 points. Brian DeVore, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties, has 17 points and is in the lead. Billy Colstock with Keller Williams La Jolla is in 3rd place with 14 points. And Nicole Hazelton with Hazelton and Associates, 16 points, just 1 point behind Mr. DeVore. She had a huge segment in the 3rd as well as Mr. DeVore. So in the final segment, there's 10 total points that I have to give out and divvy out. I can't, no less, no more. So it's still really anyone's game. Anyone can technically win at this point. However, we will be starting with Nicole as we head into listing of the week.
Time now for the listing of the week.
Oh my God, look at this, you guys. I'm going to start the bidding for this $8 billion.
Here's your chance to pitch us your most prized property.
Go ahead, make my day.
All right, Nicole, tell us about your favorite listing.
My favorite listing, I'm taking you back to Little Italy today,
All right.
which is why I pitched that neighborhood as a hot neighborhood. I have a property that's back on the market. We had a flaky buyer, and it is active again. It is a row home at 1555 Kettner Boulevard, right in the heart of Little Italy, 1 block away from the waterfront parks. It is a 2-bedroom loft-style home, and it is zoned as a single-family detached, so there are no homeowners association fees associated with this property in the middle of Little Italy, which is very, very rare. The row of homes was designed by Jonathan Siegel, so he has a very open, lofty feel. It has floor-to-ceiling windows. There's a single-car attached garage on the first level. There's also a backyard, which is very unique for a property in that area in such an urban environment. So there's a full bedroom downstairs with an ensuite bath. The middle level has the kitchen, dining room, living room, balcony for your coffee, floor-to-ceiling windows into the loft, which is also the master bedroom with an ensuite bath as well. The property is listed for sale for $799,000 to $845,000. It's a value range, so we capture as many buyers as possible. And it's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home, roughly 1,320 square feet. What sells this property is just the location. It's all about location with this one. You can walk everywhere. Everything is close in proximity. There are a lot of stairs, so you get your exercise. You don't even need a gym membership, and you don't have a homeowners association fee. And it could probably rent for about $3,400 a month.
Yeah, and you have a yard in Little Italy, which I didn't know they had yards in Little Italy. So you have like the yard in Little Italy. Great stuff. So if someone wants to find out more about this property, I'm sure people will. That's an awesome opportunity. Nicole, how would they get in touch with you?
They can call me direct at 619-206-1892. They can text that number as well, or they can email me at Nicole, Nicole, at yoursdhome.com.
Awesome listing. Frederick Remick.
Yes, so we have an amazing listing that literally we're putting on the market today. So it's probably not even on your Zillows and stuff out there with people listening. It's located at 3070 Island. What's phenomenal about this area is it is getting crushed from all sides with development. That, in fact, that area specifically has the most amount of permits being pulled in the entire city, just east of downtown. This is in the Sherman Heights area. So you've got Golden Hill to the north putting pressure on it. You got downtown pushing out east, all the development in the Gaslamp District, East Village, all that. And you have this area here that's still undervalued. This is a multifamily property. You've got 4 units. It's only priced at $499,000 to $539,000. You're generating $4,400 a month in revenue on this property with the rents.
Sold.
There are leases in place. So, when you're looking at affordability,
I'll buy it. You don't need to pitch anymore.
income generation, the potential in that area is phenomenal. So not only are you getting income coming in, but in 10 years, you can really anticipate some good appreciation in that area because it has not seen the same type of development that some of the areas around it have. And you look at how does it fit into the whole city plan. Well, the fact is that everything is pushing east out of downtown, all the development. If we ever do get a stadium, it might go down there still. That's what the Chargers are pushing for.
This sounds like an amazing listing, Frederick. 4-unit property in the Sherman Heights area for $499 to $539. I'm sure a lot of people want to see this thing. How can they get in touch with you?
Just give us a call, 619-519-3287.
Awesome. Wow. That's a great listing right
That
there.
really
That'll
is.
sell fast.
It is.
Mr. DeVore, your listing of the week.
All right, so I teased your audience a little bit about that 500 to $1 million category. I have a home in that category.
Shock.
Yeah. So what is the property type that's most in demand in Carlsbad and has the least supply? A one-story that's under $800,000. I have the one story that's under $800,000, and it's on the market today. And your client and your listeners can go look at it today at my open house. You add to the fact that this home is highly upgraded in a fantastic cul-de-sac and has been lovingly maintained by its owners. It's incredible. And it's in Rancho Carrillo, an area near and dear to my heart.
No kidding.
The address is 3228 Rancho Campanero. It's a 3-bedroom plus a living room that actually can really be used as a den. I've sold this model before. Most people use the living room as a den, so it adds a lot of great space. You can use it as an office or a library, what have you. 2206 square feet, spacious open floor plan. The 10-foot ceilings make it feel even bigger than it is. And I ask your listeners to picture themselves in this: a Cook's Delight kitchen with granite countertops and full backsplash, stainless steel appliances including 2 convection ovens. It's amazing. High-end wood floors, carpet as well, crown molding everywhere, custom paint. Last but not least, the backyard has lush landscape, but it's also drought resistant as well, so it's not going to cost a lot of money for water. Super private and quiet location. List price is $747,500. Your listeners can come to my open house. I have it going on right now. As a matter of fact, I have someone holding it open for me, and we'll stay an extra hour for your listeners to come to take a look. They can also find it at my website, which is www.thedevores.com. If they want to text the information to their phone, all they have to do is text DeVore12 to 444-888, and they'll get all the information and all the photos there as well.
Wow, that's really cool. So you text DeVore12 to 444-888. Mm-hmm. Awesome stuff from Brian DeVore. Great listing in Rancho Carrillo there. Billy Colstock, your listing of the week.
Yep. So I'm going to take you back to the showstopper. So I want you to imagine yourself, living on top of one of San Diego's peaks, next to a California wildlife preserve, never going to be developed. 270-degree views of San Diego County. Luxury pool able to accommodate any family gathering or party with a low carbon footprint. Sustainable home designed by Hubble and Hubble Realty, Hubble and Hubble Architects, nationally recognized company. It's a straw bale home. This property has been featured in the LA Times, San Diego Union Tribune.
Did you say straw bale home?
It's a straw bale home.
Made out of
straw.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Where is insulation?
It's actually in Hamul. We have.
I think I know the house actually. I think I've seen it in the magazine.
The address is 3696 Alta Loma Drive. We recently lowered this price. Can you believe this? It's underneath $1 million. Luxury living underneath $1 million. It's 3,600 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, so open space, huge open space, big enough that is built with a 14-foot boulder in the middle of the home. The boulder actually acts as a heat source inside in the winter, and it has a koi pond around the boulder that actually lets off humidity so that it cools the house in the summer. It has a 40% energy efficient rating, higher than California building standards currently. It's on solar. You have your own well. Reclaimed doors from Del Mar Racetrack. the house, it has so many things that I can't even mention them all.
I've seen pictures of this house, by the way. You have to check it out. Is it still on your website, Billy?
Yes, absolutely.
SoCalLifestyleRealty.com. If you want to check out, you got to check out the pictures. If it's out of your price range or whatever, just go look at it. Trust me, it's worth looking at and dreaming. If someone is a serious buyer, Billy, how can they get in touch with you?
Love to just chat with them right there on my cell phone, 619-787-4066.
Okay, all right. And boy, this has been tough. This is why I don't like judging, because it's just been a great show. Everyone has done so well. I do think Frederick has the best property, the best listing. I think Nicole had the best pitch. And when I add up the points and it's all said and done, Nicole, you won the real estate debate.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thanks for the great competition.
And that's it for this week's show. We'll see you soon. RealEstateDebate.com.